All
Rip
right, so
curl?
first, we're going to talk about the fact that Six Flags America has silently taken out like half the park's rides. I mean, not actually, but there's a
Oh,
gigantic chunk of rides gone from Six Flags America. Where you see the Rip Curl Blast logo, this was all an area of the park right here. Mind Eraser, along with a whole bunch of other rides, were back here. And then where you see Superman Ride of Steel's logo right now, this is all a giant kids area called Whistle Stop Park. All gone. Let me see if I can find a former map. But guys, what do you think about this? 'Cause I think it's pretty wild.
that's sad.
It's interesting because Ramar only posted like a couple of weeks ago about them working on the Rapids ride.
No, that's sad. I mean, they're not all quality rides per se that are being removed, but when you're removing like a quarter of your park, that's huge.
Well, when you remove an entire kids section, as well as even like Mind Eraser's not the greatest coaster in the world, but when you remove a coaster that's taking up some capacity, along with there was a handful of rides over there, including the rapids, like it's not a great selection. Like it's just taking away a lot from the park, and it'll crowd up more of the park. Although I really do like what Ramar is doing with the park, and all of the improvements look like really nice.
Yeah,
So I'm hoping
Oh
they're just
yeah.
he only
refreshing these
posted a couple of weeks
areas.
ago about them working on the uh whatever it's called, the Rapids ride.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
I
really
I'm going to
sad.
switch to an old park map real quick, just so you can see how much is actually gone. So, can you
I'm
see my cursor on the screen right now?
Yeah, yes, yes.
yes,
All right.
yes.
So where my cursor is wiggling right now, where that bridge is, that bridge actually has. It's really cool. It has like little pennants of every Six Flags park, or at least most of them. That's where it's cut off on the map. So you have the Rapids ride, Mind Eraser. That I forget what that ride is. I know Tom and I
Rodeo.
rode it when we were there, but
Yeah,
that ride.
rodeo.
And then there's number of restaurants back here, all
There's an arcade
completely
there
cut off on
too.
this map right here.
Man, and like this isn't a knock on Six Flags America at all, but there's already not a lot to do at the park relative to other parks. And so when you
Right.
take out as many rides as that map does, that's significant. Like I hope whatever's replacing it, if there are plans to replace it or maybe reopen it, like if there's a replacement, I hope they get something good.
And then over here, you see this whole kids area here where the train runs through. All of this is gone, and that's a shame because this is actually one of the cooler kids areas I've seen at the Six Flags Park because it
It's
was
very
really
nice.
big. It was very nice, very spread out. They could even had a playground right here if I remember, because I remember getting
Super
footage
clean.
of Superman from back there, and it was just a really nice place. Like genuinely one of the nicest kids areas I've ever seen. Didn't have many trees or anything, but it was nice and open. You could see across the whole thing. I remember it being really cool, but now that's gone and they didn't even announce it or anything. It's just closed. And then if I go back
So
to this old map here, you can see Bonsai Pipelines. That's also gone, but they're replacing that with their new water coaster. So I guess it kind of softens the blow a little bit. I am going to bring up the water coasters page just so you guys can see what it actually is. It is really short. I don't know if you guys realize how short it is, but it's possibly like the shortest water coaster I've ever seen, if I'm being honest. Let me see if I can figure
Hershey's
it
is
out.
quite short.
Here we go.
I
Here's Rip Curl
yeah.
Blast. It's only 557 feet long. I don't know how to make these pictures bigger. Let me see if I can figure that out. I don't think I can. No. But
Can you just click on
it
it?
looks like you drop, you go through a turn, drop again, go through a turn, go up a little hill, go through a helix, and that's it. It is incredibly short.
Can you click on the picture?
I can't. I don't know why the Six Flags website is like this pain in the
So
ass.
what I'm thinking, because they had posted that they are working on the rapids and that the Hurricane Harbor map used to be on there, I would not be surprised if a new map is released around Memorial Day. And like Great Adventure, they have sections of the park closed until that point in the day. Now, I'm not sure about Mind Eraser because I'm pretty sure I've heard that that might not be staying.
I think it's getting taken out, and I
That's
can
what I
Yeah,
totally
heard.
see an SNS free spin going right there.
yeah. But I feel like the Rapids will, and maybe the other kids area will open up around Memorial Day, and but that's just speculation. But I would not be surprised if they have some sort of map with Hurricane Harbor, because it would be a little confusing if there's just no map of Hurricane Harbor that exists. because it's
Right.
within Six Flags America technically, especially with the new ride coming. I'm assuming they just haven't animated that on a map. So once they animate that on the map, I think we'll see that and a refreshed Rapids area come. Kind of like how Frontier Adventures is closed until Memorial Day, along with the log flume. That area could open once they get more staff.
See, but then the problem I have with that is that Great Adventure, their map still has all the rides that are closed on it. So if that's what Six Flags America is doing, then that doesn't line up with what the other parks are doing. Because you look at Great Adventure's map here, if I zoom out, and everything's here. There's Toro, there's
Well, Six
Medusa.
Flags America probably knew about this like mid last year because they had closed those sections a long time ago.
There were rumors of Mind Eraser closing last year, even in the summer. I mean, it was open. I went last May, and I got to ride it. Maybe that was the last time I ride it, but it was open at least that far into the year. But I know not too long after.
I don't even think Mind Eraser's on the app anymore.
I think
No, they took it off, I believe.
my thought is that at Great Adventure, where they're closing Frontier Adventures, nothing there is actually like being removed, other than possibly Best of the West not reopening. But
that would be a shame.
That's
but,
a shame if that happens.
But at Six Flags America, it's maybe not up in the air to the park. They know what's happening, I'm sure, with what's staying open and what's closing. But the area will probably look pretty different whenever it does end up reopening. So they might just not have updated it on the map.
Right. But I mean, I think Six Flags America, they're definitely going to need some investment very soon. And unfortunately, I say unfortunately, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Roar is getting retracked, well, at least some retracking. Ramar, he's the GM, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
He posted on Instagram an update of Roar, I believe, and it had new tracking. What's unfortunate about that is that means there's probably going to be even more years now that Roar doesn't get RMC'd. I remember a few years ago, I don't remember who it was. It must have been the current GM or the current president of Six Flags America at that time, said that Roar was planned to be RMC'd eventually, which is very vague, but it was in talks. And of course, Roar's sister coaster at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, Joker, well, now Joker, was RMC'd in 2016. So I think really Six Flags America needs Roar to be RMC'd desperately, because Six Flags is not going to put a giant ride in otherwise. They're not going to get like a Jersey Devil Raptor or a Vekoma or anything, not a B&M either, because there's no reason to invest that kind of money into this park. But I could see them RMCing Roar, but now that they're retracking it and giving it some TLC, that means they're not going to RMC it for at least 2 years, in my opinion.
But for all we know, it could not have been able to run this year if they didn't retrack it, and maybe they want to RMC it like soon, but they still want it to run for the year because of look how much they closed.
Yeah, I mean, someone commented too that Six Flags America needs help. Yes, I think the new GM has some really great ideas. It's so cool to see someone in that position who obviously cares a lot personally about the park. But then the problem you run into is what can the park do, like at its own individual level versus what corporate will allow and all that fun stuff. So it's sad, but I think at the very least, there's a level of passion in the immediate park leadership, which is a great first step.
But what's
so I
happening
think they're
to
addressing
Bonsai?
it.
What's happening to Bonsai?
Bonsai's gone.
Yeah, Bonsai's gone.
They took it out piece by piece, though. It's not headed to the scrapyard. There's no way.
It's probably going to get relocated. I don't know which park, though. I think Great Adventure could use it.
Isn't that not like it's not that old, right? When did that go?
No, it's only like 10 years old.
From the 2010s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it can be removed, like or relocated rather. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Ace, what do you think about all this?
I think it's despicable. It's bad enough that the park is small enough, but now you take away 25 to 30% of the park. It's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, that park is small. I walked in last season on my way back from King's Dominion just to get one ride on Superman, and I was in and out in like 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I go there to eat and get on like 3 coasters mainly. Of course, Superman, Roar, and the Wild one, because those are the 3 best coasters in the park. And I'm out. I'm usually out within an hour or 2. And this is
Even
before.
Roar is one of the top 3 at the park.
That's all they have. They don't have nothing really. The Joker's Drinks is okay, but so a lot of times it's not open. But the wooden coasters are usually open, and of course Superman.
I'd say their top 3 is Superman, Batwing, and then Joker's Jinx and Wild One are pretty neck and neck.
See, the best ability is availability, and the Batwing is not always open. Of all the years I've gone, it's usually closed.
I mean, it was closed for me in 2018, but it was open for most of the day in 2021 when I went.
Back in the days, it used to open like 3 or 4 years ago. It used to open specifically at 12. You know, it was never open during the opening time at 10 o'clock or 10:30.
Right. Well, bottom line is about this whole Six Flags America situation is that it's pretty unfortunate to see such a significant portion of the park just literally cut right off. I guess we'll have to see what winds up developing as a result of this, but there you go. The Six Flags America's 2023 park map completely missing Mind Erasers area as well as Whistle Stop Park.
Mm.
So